welcome to part 2 of the Smithy workbench build. In this episode, we're going to take some time, we're going to make the adjustable legs, we're going to cut a little bit more wood and show you the finished product, get everything finished up and get the Smithy ready to mount on it. So thank you for coming back, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's let this cool off a minute. Alright, I went and cooled this off, and so the whole idea here of what I'm making is this is part of the adjustable legs. So this is going to, little thrust band is going to go on there. I need to pack this with a little grease first. Then this will go on, and then another nut on top, and then that nut will be welded to the top of the threaded rod. And the whole idea being that down on this end, this is going to be welded not to the threaded rod, but to this piece of metal. This is going to be welded to the leg that comes down, up and down. So you'll turn the nut up here, and it'll run this up and down the threaded rod. So let me grease this real quick. So thrust bearings a lot of times are overlooked. You know, us home do-it-yourself guys, whatever. But they're a great little tool, you know, a great little thing to use, especially when, like what I'm making, it's just so easy to just say, well, I'll just weld a nut on some threaded rod. But, you know, a thrust bearing really takes away a lot of the friction. Let me say that. It takes away a lot of the friction. So I'm going to try this, and I'm going to use it, and I'll let you know how it works out. Alright, I got it tied together there pretty good. Now, what I'm going to do is, I ain't going to mess around. I'm going to take this in and go cool it off so I don't mess up my thrust bearing. Alright, so I went and cooled this off. And what I did was I just, you know, cooled it right here on the end. I didn't put water back here on the bearing or anything like that. I just cooled it off so that I didn't, you know, ruin the bearing or mess up the grease that's in there, anything like that. So, see how this works now. See how that thrust bearing takes away a lot of friction? Okay? And so, again, this is going to be welded to the leg. I'm going to show you here real quick. Let me turn the camera. Okay. So, this part right here is going to be welded right there like this. Okay? Just like that. So, come in here and we'll weld this up underneath it, all around it. And the whole idea is this is your adjustment. It'll be on all four corners. So that you just, if you turn it this way, you screw the leg down. If you screw it this way, you bring the leg up. Alright, so the leg is going to be like this. Here's the internal leg. It's going to be on there just like this. And all this is going to be welded up. I'm going to weld this, and then I'm going to weld the nut onto this, so that when you screw this up and down, it raises. If you screw it this way, the leg comes up. If you screw it the other way, the leg goes down. You don't need but just a few inches of travel, and I've got probably a good 6 inches or 7 inches that I can work with there. But really all I'm ever going to need is 2-3 inches at the most. So this is going to work good. And I will most likely come in here and put a nut on the end of this so that I don't ever accidentally screw this thing all the way down too far. You know, I'm going to put something on the end here, something. If I don't do nothing but just weld the threads to where it can't go down but so far, and I'll never, you know, go to a point to where this drops out of the leg. Alright, we've got this thing locked in the vise here, and again, all we're going to do is I'm going to weld this nut onto this plate, and then after it cools and all that, then this plate will be welded to the end of the internal leg. So let's get that welded on there. Alright, I'm going to go cool this baby off and see what we got. Alright, we've cooled this thing off. We've got this welded on. Kind of bring us back up to speed here. There's the thrust bearing. Welded that nut on the top. Welded this nut to the threaded rod underneath so it doesn't move. And, you know, didn't have to do that much welding on it. Probably did too much, but. And this piece here, welded the nut on it, and this is going to sit in here, just like this. And this is going to be welded on to the internal leg, so that when you turn this, the internal leg goes down. When you turn it the other way, the internal leg comes up. So that's what we're going to do on the workbench. Right or wrong, that's what we're doing. And there it is, welded up. And the thing to remember is that all of the weight of the machine and the table and tools, all that, are coming up against this plate. So the more weight that's on it, the more it's going to push down. So you don't have to worry about it like tearing off or whatever. It's going to be pushed down. The only time that this is going to be pulled on is when you're just raising the leg up. And gravity's in your favor then. So I'm not too worried about it. When it turns free, so this is how it's going to work. It's going to raise the leg up and down. Now I got to make 3 more of them. All right, one more time. Here's the completed internal leg with the thrust bearing. It's been greased and all that. And all this is just going to sit right down in here like this. And I've got to do a little clearance grinding and stuff, but it's going to sit in there just like that. And screw the nut counterclockwise, and the leg will go down. If you screw it clockwise, the leg comes up. And that's it. And all of this is going to be, this plate here is going to be welded on all the way around. Because that's got to be strong. This thing, all the weight's going to be pushing up on this plate. So I've got to make sure that I weld this in really good all the way around here. And all that's going to happen after I get the the 4th leg completed. This one's done. Now I got to make 3 more. All right, we finally got the workbench completed. I've been working on it for about a week in my spare time. Spent a lot of time last Saturday, putting everything together. Worked on it Sunday some, getting the casters all done on it that are over here. Got that finished. Worked on it after work in the evenings, working on the adjustable legs, cutting some of the wood to go in it. And I'm going to show you this adjustable leg here in just a few minutes on all 4 corners, how that works, and take you around the workbench and show you kind of what's here, what it's about. And all right, now let me go over some of the measurements of the bench with you. It's 32.5 inches tall from here to here. It's 32 inches deep and 68 inches long. Good, heavy, stable bench to put the Smithy on. Now, you see wood on top, but that's really just kind of for looks and to fill in the empty places. The machine's not going to be bolted to, to the wood, and that's it. There are braces underneath here on both ends that the machine will be bolted directly to. The wood's just kind of laying on top. And the chip tray up here was my pattern to put the holes and to get it located. So the Smithy's going to sit on top of the chip tray and on top of the wood, but it's going to be bolted down to the metal frame itself. So it's all going to be one unit for strength and rigidity. All right, let's talk about the adjustable leg that's here. So in the earlier part of the video, you saw what we did there. All right, so let's look at the adjustable leg. All you got to do is put a ratchet or an impact wrench, or right now I'm just going to use a 15/16 wrench, and the leg will come out down here. So you just turn it counterclockwise like this, And if you just look there, you'll see the leg coming down at the bottom. And I'm going to give you a close-up view here in just a second. Just like that. See, it comes down and it picks the bench up. Look at that, see? See, it's off the ground now. All right, let me get you closer. All right, I got you zoomed in, and I'm going to show you how this internal leg, or leg in a leg, or whatever you want to call it, adjustable legs, how it comes down and will raise the bench up so you can take the casters off of it and level the bench or set it down flat, however you want to do it. All right, I'm going to turn the adjusting nut that's on top, and you can see the leg coming down. Just like that. Now watch it. It'll pick the bench right up. Okay, now the caster is off the ground. No problem. Take my adjustable wrench. Come in here. Loosen up this bolt. Casters come off. Just like that. Now I can do that on all four corners. I can adjust this leg back up in there to the point that it's almost touching the ground or all the way down. I can level the machine up, level the bench up, whatever I need to do. Just like that, easy peasy. I didn't want the casters on there permanent. Alright, now I'm going to let it back down onto the caster. Make sure I left enough clearance there, yep. So here we go, screwing it back up in there. Just like that. Okay, I tried to use the box that the machine came in, or the crate, to the greatest extent possible, and I used some of the wood from off the crate in there, and that's going to be like a little storage area. If I want to lay some round stock or some metal or whatever, I can lay that right in there. Same thing on the side or the back of the bench. I left this room in here. I cut some more of the crate and laid in there for a floor so that I could take, maybe a vise or something, some parts that I don't use that often, metal, whatever I may want, and I can lay it in here and use this. And this is the back side that you've already seen where I used the crate for that. All right, so there she is. She's all done. You can see the crate board on the back with the Smithy emblem wrote on it. I thought it was pretty cool to keep that. I got it on top behind the machine. I think it turned out pretty good. All right, there's the other side. It'll be the left-hand side of the bench, where I can put storage or, tooling, whatever I need to, that's maybe I don't use often. All right. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garage, building this bench, taking just really scrap steel that I was able to pick up. Thankfully, thank goodness I was able to do that. It saved me some money. And put this bench together and get it ready to put the Smithy on it. So in the next video coming up, we want to watch that one because we're going to get the Smithy picked up. We're going to get it bolted down on top of this bench where it's going to live, and begin cleaning the machine up, lubricating it, adjusting the gives, just carrying out all the proper procedures you need to do to a new machine before you start actually using it. So that's going to be the next video. So thank you for hanging out with us.